Welcome YouTube. We are here for a treat today because we're going to do an amazing video that I thought about today at the gym. It's about choosing yourself. We're going to go right into it. It's about self-worth, choosing yourself, taking your side. Many people in society today don't have their own side anymore. They're putting authorities on a pedestal. They're chasing celebrities. They're chasing validation in other people. And most of the time, they are choosing not themselves, they're choosing feelings. They're choosing to chase feelings in other people. Give you an example. Someone who doesn't choose themselves to take care of themselves, to build their life, to build their value garden, to build their physical fitness, to build their relationships, to build their relaxation, to build their business, to build their creative expression. They chasing instead of that, they're neglecting all of that, those actions that would fulfill their lives. They, instead of doing those actions that fulfill their lives, chase feelings in a relationship, and by that chase an addiction. They choose the toxic hot and cold games. They choose the I miss that person, the emotional entertainment, which will always just be themselves losing themselves in a relationship. They will not build any skills. They just live in emotional entertainment, so they don't grow in the relationship. They don't add growth for themselves that would give them a better life. That would also give them better partners. That would give them self-worth. They choose the feelings where they mistake love with emotional addiction. So we want to learn taking our sides. I've been learning how to take my side since I was a child because I had to take my side. I was kicked out by my dad for a good reason. I was kicked out by my mom for not a good reason. Okay, my mom and I, we're cool now. My family, we're all cool. We have a good relationship. But I wasn't treated the best, let's say that, which made me hate the place where I lived, which made me flee the place that I lived for a better life to come to this wonderful country, the United States. And I came by myself. I had to have my side because my family abandoned me, which means that I was by myself for years and years and years and years, where just in the beginning, because I was used to, oh, if I cry and I was a child, maybe my mom comes, right? But then I was a grown-up, young grown-up, and I thought, oh, maybe if cry, I learned this, someone comes. No one came. No one. So I realized in that moment, I learned a big lesson. Oh, fuck. No one's going to do this for me. No one's going to improve my life. No one's going to make this amazing life, growing the action, spending the time on the things I want to spend my time on, building my business for me. No one's going to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I want to give Star a Ferrari. I want to give him a Lamborghini. I like Lamborghinis. But so I learned, oh, I have to be on my side because I'm the only one I'm living with. This is so clear if you see this. If you're born, we got given certain cards. We got given certain heights, weights, intelligence, all those things. Even though intelligence you can practice and you can grow. My intelligence in the last 6 years rampantly went up as soon as I started to build my own business and only rely on myself. You have to understand that we got dealt certain cards. You are yourself. You cannot be in a different body. This is not a Chris Brown, a Little Dicky music video. If you don't know the song, I don't remember the name of the song, but you cannot just wake up in a different Chris Brown's body. And I don't want to wake up in Chris Brown's body, by the way. I want to be myself. So you want to take your side. You want to start taking your side. And the way, and I know there's a lot of creators who give these sayings of like, take your side, be yourself, love yourself, but they don't explain to you how to do it. Guess what? You know me, I always explain to you how to do it practically, and I will teach you how now. The reason why you don't take your side is because you're identifying with thoughts that maybe your parents gave you of not being good enough, of not being ready yet, of being too shy, of not being good enough to do your podcast or whatever your creative expression is, building your business, talking to that person, going to the gym, whatever it is, being a speaker. The brain gives you thoughts of, no, we're not good enough. We're going to get judged. We're going to get hurt by other people. And the problem is that you identify with it. You created an identity with these thoughts. And by creating an identity, you believe that's you, even though these thoughts are just patterns. They're patterns that want to stay alive by making you believe that these patterns are true. So you want to first step differentiate from those patterns. This is called cognitive diffusion. We differentiate from our brain. We differentiate from the thoughts. This is first step by being aware of those thoughts. And then instead of saying my thoughts, we want to say the thoughts. We want to say the thoughts or the brain. The thoughts say, I'm not good enough. Okay, that's fine. The thoughts say, I'm not good enough. And I'm going to do this thing that the thoughts want to prevent me from doing anyway, which then I train my brain over time that I have my side, that I'm good enough with my behavior, because the brain's language is behavior. All right. So you literally, and this I speak from experience, this works every time. If you're doing this, if you have patience, and if you apply this over months, like physical fitness, if you go to a physical fitness trainer, you're like, oh, I want to get a 6-pack or 8-pack and I want to be buff in a week. He's going to look at you and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? We need to get your diet up. We need to get muscle synthesis by adding resistance, adding pressure on the muscle over time. And that's how we build the muscle. The muscle regenerates itself. It gets cut first. I don't know, you don't call it cut. I'm not a physical trainer. But it gets like broken down first, and then it builds itself up. But it's over several months, right? And even years. And you get better and better with time. So practicing these tools is practicing trusting yourself, because you're changing the language that you're telling your brain. You're basically changing the software that you're giving your brain, but you have to do it with your behavior. And it's going to be uncomfortable because the brain keeps you in the same habits by giving you uncomfortable feelings to fix, so you stay in the same patterns. Give you an example. If you don't go do the speaking engagement or don't go to social events because of a feeling of anxiety, and you react to that feeling of anxiety that the brain gives you, and you're just calling yourself a shy, introverted, anxious person, staying in your bed, your brain, it kept you away from it thinks is dangerous, from the social events, from the business, growing the business, from the speech, and it keeps you on your bed scrolling on TikTok and Instagram. Now, by you staying actually on your bed and not being okay with the uncomfortable emotion of anxiety and going out and talking to other people, you are showing the brain that the brain must be correct, and it must be correct by giving you more anxiety, because you're reacting, you're engaging with anxiety. The brain is a very efficient organ. So we'll always give you what you react to. So the importance here is to practice being okay with these uncomfortable emotions, but don't even make it about the uncomfortable emotions. That's just the practice in between. You are okay. You want to practice not making uncomfortable emotions wrong and trying to fix them or trying to get relief from them, but because by that you're feeding them, because you're engaging with them. You want to literally change your measure of success from trying to fix feelings to supporting your garden, your value garden, with valued actions. And by that, over time, you are showing your brain that you have your side, that you care about yourself, that you value yourself, because you're doing the things that you value, no matter what the old pattern says that the brain gives you, that the brain thinks is right. So by doing the new pattern and being okay with the uncomfortable emotions and mindfully doing the actions of creating TikToks, creating a podcast, making your Etsy, whatever figure things and putting them on Etsy, even though the brain says, no, we're not good enough, they're going to judge us, making the TikTok videos where you share about mental health, or you share about physical fitness, or you share about making smoothies, or you share about dancing or singing, whatever you're passionate about. By doing that mindfully and not reacting to the thoughts and emotions, you are taking your side. This is taking your side because you're doing self-care. You're supporting yourself. You're believing in yourself. Even though you don't have to believe in yourself yet. That's the paradox. So some people are like, oh, I need to have confidence first. That's backwards. Don't try to get confidence first. Have the feeling of insecurity. It's just a pattern. I can have this feeling of insecurity. I can have this feeling of anxiety. And I just do step by step the actions that go in the direction that I want to go. So you want to make the language of the brain is behavior, but you want to show the brain with your actions what you care about. And it's actions inside of your head and actions outside of your head. You might be like, oh, what does he mean with actions inside of your head? It's your attention. Your attention shows the brain what you care about. So if the thoughts come in, you cannot control the thoughts that already come in because those are the thoughts that you showed the brain back in the day you care about. Those are the thoughts you reacted to. And the brain's just like, hey, these are the toys that you react to. I give you more toys. So if you talk back, you cannot control the thoughts that come in, but you can control if you talk back. So if you consistently talk back and spend time in your head, the brain just gives you more of that. But if you use your attention to be like, no brain, like in the previous video, we talked about the tool, right? Talk out loud to your brain, no brain. And then this shows first off that the brain, the thoughts are third party. It's not you, which is great for cognitive diffusion. And then you shift your focus, no brain, I'm walking right now. Or no brain, I'm doing chest press right now. And you bring your focus back to the senses of feeling your muscles on the chest press, in the chest press. Or pull-ups, or running, whatever it is. Physical fitness is a great way to show your brain that you support yourself and have an easy way to practice mindfulness because you can be aware of so many of your body senses, your breath when you're running, you're sweating, your blood rushing through your body, you're tensing the muscles. And focusing on that mindfully, even when you're at the gym, when the brain comes in, no, but you have to think about your ex, what about your ex? And it will make it so logical for you to think about the ex and trying to fix something. It always loves you to fix something. And as long as you're playing the game of fixing, the brain gives you more to fix. So you want to come back to, oh no, I'm making this video right now, brain. See how the simple tool of saying, hey, no brain, the no brain is bringing awareness on that it's a third party, which is practicing cognitive diffusion, which is realizing I'm the awareness, I'm not the thoughts, right? It's realizing I am the awareness and not the thoughts. And then the second part is I'm running right now. I'm walking right now. I'm the awareness, I'm walking, and you're shifting your focus and showing your brain that you care about walking mindfully. And that's why mindfulness is so important, because even if you're walking, but you still spend time in your head, you're still feeding the patterns. Do you understand? This is really cool if you think about it. Even if you don't react to the jealousy that you usually feel in the relationship and are okay with the jealousy and go to train. If you're still spending time in your head trying to think, oh, but is he betraying me? Should I wear a sexier dress to make him love me again? You're spending time in your head on this, and the brain just gives you, it's like you love doubting about this relationship. So taking your side is showing the brain you take your side with your behavior inside and outside of your head. You don't take your side by chasing the validation in your head of trying to say things that you think another person loves to hear. Okay? So taking your side is doing that, and you don't have to be perfect. You just want to take up more territory. And you want to start taking, you always hear me saying that this is really important. You want to start taking territory in the beginning of the day, because if you start your day ruminating, checking the phone, checking social media, you're showing the brain you love doing those urges. The brain gives you more urges of thoughts and checking social media, and you get taken off your path. You're not showing your brain what you really care about. So you want to start in the beginning of the day. So when you wake up, stop ruminating, stop checking feelings, stop making feelings. Oh, is this a wrong feeling? Is this a right feeling? Am I having a problem because of this feeling? This is all society has taught you, that anxiety and other feelings are wrong, but the paradox is by making it wrong, you're creating more excessive feelings. If you just don't make it wrong and you focus mindfully on the valued actions, you give the body the opportunity to balance out everything by itself. We are human beings. We're supposed to have feelings. All the people, all the coaches who tell you, I never have anxiety, they're liars. They're all liars. They're stupid. Fuck them. Literally, they just want to sell you programs. They want to put themselves on a pedestal, so you chase them. So you're like, yeah, I need this $9,000 program. If it's a cool, hey, maybe one day I'll bring a fucking $9,000 program out. But you can believe that it's more worth than fucking $9,000. And it's not based on, putting me on a pedestal, or this, that. Mark Freeman talks about this. Check out the book, You Are Not a Rock. He literally talks about we are not rocks. We are human beings. Rocks are good at not feeling feelings. We want to practice the skill of being able to feel feelings and do the valued actions anyway, which is teaching our brain that we trust ourselves. By you constantly fixing, checking feelings, checking thoughts, you teaching the brain that you love the game of getting more excessive feelings and thoughts. And that's where depression comes. That's where all the ADHD, BPD, OCD things come. But society's not telling you that, because most people actually don't know. And we have a mental health industry that's completely broken, because we send these students to school where they only regurgitate information. They come out of school, they have no experience of building mental health practically. They only regurgitate information from school, and they come to you and they're like, oh yeah, this is how I help you. It's not helping you, first off, because it mostly doesn't work. A lot of things that they learn is BS, really BS, crazy BS. And it's also, I have so many clients who come to me like, yo, I've been to the therapist and it's like just made me worse. I have more depression. No shit, bro. First off, he didn't explain you in the first session, or she, doesn't fucking matter, what cognitive diffusion is, which is the differentiation between your brain. So all the questions you answered from your identity, which strengthened your identity. And then a lot of times your therapist is just fucking going back always on the past, spending time on your story, which is just telling the brain, oh yeah, yes, bring up more problems, more story for them to fix. Most of that bullshit is nonsense. And the only therapies that actually really work practically are behavioral therapies like acceptance and commitment therapy and exposure and response prevention therapy. Okay? ACT therapy and ERP therapy. And then, even fucking then, you don't even know if these motherfuckers actually understand what they teach, because you don't know if they practice mental health tools. If a therapist don't practice meditation, run first off. They practice only guided meditation, but they don't know how to do silent meditation, and they're not able to sit in silent meditation for 45 minutes or over. They cannot sit with their emotions and thoughts and focus on their breath. Run. They cannot teach you anything about mental fitness. That's exactly like a person who who's a tennis coach, and they learned everything about tennis. Every fucking book, went to university for fucking tennis, had some like fucking professor in the front being like, this is tennis and this is how the tennis beds are made and like all that, right? And this is how you do a swing, but they never play tennis. Do you trust them to give you the ability to play tennis? No. They don't have the muscle memory. They cannot show you how to swing the ball. They cannot tell you what happens when you practice the left hand and maybe there's like a little pain that you have in the wrist. And he's like, no, you have to adjust it like this. I know this. You learn things practically, but these students don't learn practical tips. It's nonsense. And then they have this certificate at the wall. And I know so many people who are like, they ask me on social media sometimes, right? Do you have a certificate? Are you a psychologist? I'm like, I'm fucking glad I'm not, because I'm not indoctrinated in that, because I know practice. Because if you don't know my story, I used to have the fucking craziest OCD. Okay, I couldn't live my life. I did ACT for years, practiced for years, the craziest compulsions. That's why it's so easy for me to help people right now, because the most people I meet, I haven't met a person who had the amount of compulsions that I had. And I've been meditating since I'm a kid, like for 15 years. So I've been doing the practical side, but then finding ACT therapy and actually building emotional fitness, practicing to build the skill to be okay with any emotions and acting on my valued actions helped me so much. So this is about taking your side, and the practice of incorporating the valued actions in your week and especially first thing in the day, like go to the gym first thing in the day, build your business mindfully. You have a lot of energy first thing in the day as well. At night, you can get sleepy. Yeah, I'm at night right now. I can still do this, but I still have a lot of energy. And you want to do it mindfully. So this is taking up your side. So a great question for you to ask is right now, instead of fixing your feelings, instead of fixing your thoughts, instead of trying to heal trauma, right? Which the brain's like, oh, you love healing trauma. Let me give you more trauma to heal. And it will find an endless pit of fucking trauma for you to heal. This is not how you heal trauma. You actually heal trauma by making it inactive, which means your body's processing it by itself. You're actually getting out the way. So yes, Alan Watts' teachings are really, really great, but we have to know how to practice them. And we're making them inactive by taking our focus of it, our superpower, which I talked about in the last video. Our superpower is our focus. And we focus mindfully on the valued actions, which is telling our brain, hey, he's not reacting to the old pattern anymore, even though I try to get his attention by giving him so many uncomfortable emotions and thoughts, so many things I know he reacts to because I have an entire data bank. The brain will give you illogical thoughts that you react to just for you to do compulsions. So your question that you want to ask yourself is, what do I actually want to spend my time on in my life? What do I actually want to grow? And you want to write this down as actions, and you can have these categories that I do. The Value Garden exercise is by Mark Freeman. I added things to it to focus better, which are the categories of romantic relationships, family and friends relationships, business/money, relaxation, creative expression, fun, physical fitness, and there's one more: fun, creative expression, physical fitness, relaxation, romantic relationships, family and friends relationships. I think I have all of them. Okay, I think I have all of them. This should be 7. If not, look at my Value Garden exercise on my Instagram or even in the Heal Your Heartbreak video. But those categories, you ask yourself, hey, what are the things I'm already doing, for example, for physical fitness? Oh, I'm already going to Pilates, but I want to build my muscles. I want to go to the gym. Okay, but the thoughts say, oh, but what if people judge me, this and that? This is that you schedule in during the week 3 times. I go to the gym with the emotions and thoughts. This is how you take your side. And this is how you actually build self-worth. If you want to go deeper, you can check out my self-worth course in the link in my bio. It's a video course, 4-hour long, where you see me actually, it's a seminar where you see me actually coach people on self-worth and how to build it, which, by the way, I can tell you right now, but you could go deeper and step by step in the course. I tell you right now how to build self-worth the same way I just told you. You show yourself that you're worthy by doing the things that you would do if you would feel worthy. If I would feel worthy, I would be a speaker. I would start my speaking practice. If I would feel worthy, I would make TikTok videos. If I would feel worthy, I would do dancing. You put in the fucking thing, okay? Because I know you already know. If I ask you, what are the actions that you would do if you would feel worthy? What are the actions that you avoid because the brain says we're not ready yet, we need to heal trauma first, other people will judge us? If you do those actions over time, and you only need to take up more territory, you don't have to be perfect with any emotions and thoughts, and understand that these patterns that come up are literally just patterns from the past, and then you just add and be okay with being uncomfortable, you will build so much self-worth. Meditation is a great practice for that. If you sit down with any emotions and thoughts, focus on your breath. The brain's trying to attack you with a lot of emotions, a lot of patterns. You being not reactive, you let it burn. You're okay with you building emotional fitness, and you focus on your breath. All right. I love you guys. I'm just going to keep it short. Follow, subscribe. Ask me any fucking questions in the comments that you want to know, what videos you want to see. Peace. Just have fun, listen to music, talk to girls, talk to guys, be yourself. Yes, we're going to talk more and more about being yourself, but take your side.